Not every ranger relies solely on a morpher. Some were born different, with gifts, powers, and abilities that make them truly one of a kind. Telepathy, fire, speed, magic, strength. In this video, you'll see the Red Rangers with powers of their own. Heroes who were already special before they even morphed. And if you like this video and subscribe to the channel right now, you'll be just as awesome as a Red Ranger. Andros, the Red Ranger from Power Rangers in Space 1998, is one of the most complex and memorable characters in the entire franchise. Born on the space colony KO-35, he carries a story filled with loss, courage, and redemption. But what truly sets him apart from other Rangers is his rare power, telekinesis. This ability allows him to move objects with his mind, giving him a strategic edge both in battle and in everyday situations. His telekinesis reflects his deep connection with the universe, as well as his inner focus and discipline. Yet behind the hero lies a deep pain, the kidnapping of his younger sister, Corone, when they were children. That tragedy shaped his entire life and drove him to fight evil, never imagining that years later, she would return as his greatest enemy, Astronema. When it comes to combat, Andros is a formidable warrior. He's skilled in hand-to-hand fighting and capable of performing powerful energy-based attacks, even channeling psychic energy to enhance his physical strength. Interestingly, his telekinetic power has been with him since childhood, as seen in episode 6, where young Andros playfully uses it to make a toy levitate while playing with his sister. And he definitely enjoys using his powers for fun, like in episode 3, when he uses telekinesis to lift a jar of pepper and drop it into Bulk's milkshake. Andros is the Ranger who can control objects with his mind, using telekinesis as his weapon, his defense, and his advantage whenever he needs it. The son of two researchers who tragically lost their lives, Cole Evans was raised by a jungle tribe where he learned to survive among wild animals, developing heightened senses, instinct, and a deep spiritual bond with nature itself. When destiny chose him to wield the power of the Red Lion, it wasn't just because of his bravery, but because he already carried within him the spirit of the wild. As the Red Ranger of Wild Force, Cole is the heart of the team, a leader who balances strength and compassion. What truly makes him unique, though, is his ability to communicate with animals. More than just a power, it's the living expression of his connection to Animaria, the life force that unites the wild Zords and the natural world they protect. Cole understands the signs of nature, feels the instincts of living creatures, and in crucial moments can summon the Zords through that same bond. Throughout the series, we see several examples of this gift, but one of the most charming happens in episode 29. Right at the beginning, Cole encounters a group of pigeons and speaks to them as if they were old friends, asking for help to find a missing boy. It's a simple yet amazing scene. It shows how his bond with animals turns nature itself into his ally, almost like having eyes and ears everywhere. Cole is the true bridge between man and nature, a ranger who speaks with animals and channels the raw power of the wild. Before becoming a Power Ranger, Clarke was just a regular young guy, restless, adventurous, and absolutely obsessed with skateboarding. But behind that thrill-seeking energy was also a strong sense of justice and responsibility, just waiting for the right purpose to awaken. That purpose came when fate led him to the Wind Ninja Academy. When the villain Lothar attacked the academy and captured most of the students, Shane, Tori, and Dustin, who happened to be late, escaped. They were then chosen by the Watanabe family to wield the Wind Morphers, becoming the Ninja Storm Ranger. Shane's special ability is air manipulation, a power that blends ninjutsu techniques with elemental control. Even before becoming a ranger, Shane could already use this power through sheer training and focus. In the very first episode, we see him literally running on air during a fight against enemy forces. Shane uses bursts of wind as extensions of his attacks, enhancing jumps, gliding through the air, and increasing his agility in combat. His fighting style focuses on speed, balance, and adaptability. With creativity, he turns air into his weapon, like in Episode 2, where he unleashes a flurry of mid-air kicks, reminiscent of Liu Kang's iconic attack from Mortal Kombat. Shane stands out as the master of the winds, a warrior who transforms air itself into his weapon, his shield, and his path to the perfect strike. In Power Rangers Dino Thunder, Connor starts out as the classic high school athlete until his life completely changes when he discovers the red dino gem. By touching the gem, he not only gains the duty of leading the Dino Rangers, but also a power that defines his identity, super speed. Interestingly, he's the only one on this list whose ability comes from an external source rather than being innate. Whether morphed or not, Connor shows acceleration and reflexes beyond human limits, sprinting across great distances in seconds, dodging attacks in the blink of an eye, and striking with the perfect mix of momentum and martial skill. His powers come from the fusion between his own biology and the energy of the Tyrannosaur, granted by the red dino gem. This bond becomes even stronger when he taps into his super dino mode. There are several moments in the show that highlight this ability. In episode 28, for example, Connor uses his speed to rescue his love interest from a falling piece of equipment, a scene that shows his power isn't just for battle, but also for protection and quick thinking. Another standout moment comes in the very first episode, when Connor first experiences his speed and realizes that his perception shifts. He can actually see his enemies moving in slow motion. Connor is the ranger who commands time through motion, a true red lightning bolt flashing across the battlefield. Before becoming a ranger, Jack Landors lived on the streets, living a kind of Robin Hood lifestyle, stealing from the rich to help those in need. Even without a morpher, Jack always had a good heart and a strong sense of justice, qualities that caught the attention of S.P.D, Space Patrol Delta, the futuristic police force that protects Earth from alien threats. At first, Jack was actually wanted by S.P.D because of his thefts, but he eventually proved his worth and courage, earning his place among them. Jack possesses a special ability. His genetic power allows his molecules to phase through solid matter. This intangibility is shown right in the first episode, when he escapes S.P.D agents by running straight through a wall. With this gift, he can pass through walls, doors, and even physical attacks, becoming temporarily untouchable, a power that may seem simple, but requires incredible focus and control. Unfortunately, throughout the series, Jack's phasing ability is rarely explored, appearing only in a few key moments. As the Red Ranger, he leads the B Squad with confidence and loyalty until the very end of the show. His personal Zord is the Red Delta Runner, a six-wheeled police vehicle that reflects his commanding presence. Jack's journey comes full circle when, after defeating Emperor Groom, he decides to leave official S.P.D duty to do what he's always wanted: help people directly, without a badge or uniform. His phasing power is truly fascinating and could have been used much more throughout the series, highlighting even further the potential of such a unique hero. Nick Russell, also known by his true name, Bowen, is the main protagonist of Power Rangers Mystic Force. His special power? Fire manipulation. Nick was born a magical being, the son of Udana, a powerful sorceress, and Leanbow, a legendary warrior from the magic world. He naturally inherited magic in his blood, a powerful legacy that connected him to the very essence of fire, his elemental power. However, during the Great War in the magic world, he was sent away as a baby to the human world for his own safety. There, he was adopted and raised far from that mystical reality, completely unaware of his true origin. Unlike ordinary humans, Nick didn't need to become a ranger to possess magic. It was already part of him since birth. He just didn't know it yet. In fact, at first, Nick didn't even believe in magic. Only after becoming the Red Mystic Ranger did he begin to accept its existence and learn to channel it consciously, awakening the potential that had always been inside him. One of the coolest moments happens in episode 20, when the Rangers unlock their legend warrior forms, gaining new armor and amplified powers. Using his staff, Nick casts Firestorm, unleashing a massive fiery blast against the villains. The scene is visually stunning and perfectly captures the magnitude of his control over fire. Nick's ability to command flames is grand, visually powerful, and deeply symbolic of who he is. A born sorcerer whose fiery spirit earns him a well-deserved place among the most extraordinary Red Rangers. Mack Hartford's life hid a secret that would change everything. Mack wasn't Andrew Hartford's biological son. He was built by Andrew as an android and given implanted memories to make him believe he had a normal childhood. This robotic physiology granted Mack abilities far beyond human limits. His artificial body was designed with enhanced strength and internal systems that provided him with superhuman power and other built-in advantages. At first, Mack himself interpreted these traits as mere skills, until he eventually discovered that his strength and endurance came not from human genetics, but from advanced technology. A great example of this power can be seen in Episode 9. In that episode, Mack is captured by the villains and locked in a cell. After causing a distraction, he uses his super strength to break his shackles and then tears through the cell bars to escape. The shocking revelation that Mack was an android, revealed in Episode 25, Things Not Said, triggers his greatest identity crisis. Seeing his mechanical parts laid out on the table and confronting the truth about who created him and why completely destabilizes the young leader. But the final arc of his story brings his most human transformation. Mack sacrifices himself to stop Furious, and as a reward for his bravery and his protection of the Corona Aurora, the Sentinel Knight uses its power to revive him, this time as a real human being. He proved that even a machine can have the heart of a true hero. Casey Rhodes is the Red Ranger from Power Rangers Jungle Fury. He started out as a new student at the Order of the Claw Academy, and right in the very first episode, when he's humiliated by a senior student, his anger unleashes his tiger spirit. That moment catches the attention of Master Mao, who chooses Casey as one of the warriors destined to face the evil spirit Daishi. Casey's power can best be described as animal spirit channeling, a mystical ability that allows him to invoke, access, or manifest the attributes of mythical animal spirits within himself, amplifying his strength, agility, senses, and endurance. He doesn't simply imitate these animals, he embodies their supernatural qualities. Casey has access to 3 different animal spirits, each granting him unique abilities. Tiger Spirit, his primary spirit, representing strength, speed, sharp reflexes, and a deep connection to his inner courage. Shark Spirit, gained through his training with Master Finn, this spirit grants him enhanced power and endurance, especially in fluid or blade-like combat styles. Gorilla Spirit grants him immense brute strength, incredible close combat ability, and unmatched resilience, making him not only fast and agile, but also incredibly tough. Casey's powers blend elements of mysticism, symbolism, and inner balance, a perfect harmony between body, spirit, and the primal energy of nature itself. Since childhood, Jaden was raised as part of the Shiba clan. His father, the former Red Samurai Ranger, died, leaving him the duty of one day taking on the responsibilities that came with the family legacy. Jaden's power, the symbol of fire, is deeply tied to his bloodline and to the Shiba clan's ancient traditions, as his ancestors also channeled the power of fire through their sacred symbols. This inheritance isn't just magical or physical, it's also cultural and moral. The fire Jaden wields represents courage, discipline, and honor, virtues passed down through generations of the Shiba family. His power isn't random, it's the living manifestation of an ancestral legacy that demands not only strength, but also emotional control and responsibility. Every strike, every technique, and every decision he makes as a ranger carries the weight of his lineage. Jaden doesn't create fire at will. Instead, he channels it through the symbol of fire. That means his ability depends on activating the symbol, using his weapons and samurai techniques, and focusing his energy with precision. In other words, his fire isn't spontaneous. It's a ritualized and disciplined power, the result of combining the symbol's magic with training and inner focus. His control over fire is strategic and ceremonial, not just raw elemental power. But Jaden's story takes a remarkable turn, one directly connected to the next ranger on this list. Warren Shiba is Jaden's older sister, and the true heir to the Shiba clan legacy, destined to lead the family and wield the sealing symbol. Since childhood, she was trained in secret to master this technique, while Jaden acted publicly as the Red Ranger to conceal her identity and keep enemies from targeting her before she completed her training. When Lauren finally returns in Super Samurai Episode 16, she reveals herself as the true Red Samurai Ranger, becoming the first woman ever to hold that title in the Power Rangers franchise. Although Jaden had been the visible leader up to that point, he humbly steps aside and acknowledges Lauren's rightful place as head of the team. Lauren shares Jaden's mastery of the symbol of fire, allowing her to perform fiery attacks and summon her Zords with precision and strength. However, her true distinction lies in her command of the sealing symbol, a powerful technique capable of locking away evil entities. After years of intense training, Lauren became the only one capable of using this technique effectively against Master Xandred, as seen in Episode 19. Though the attempt wasn't enough to destroy him, it demonstrated her extraordinary skill and determination. Later, Lauren passes leadership back to Jaden, who once again assumes the role of Red Ranger, and together, they finally defeat Master Xandred in Episode 20, bringing closure to the Shiba family's long and noble legacy.
Troy Burrows is the main protagonist of Power Rangers Megaforce 2013 and Power Rangers Super Megaforce 2014. Troy is a young martial arts expert chosen by Gosei to lead the Mega Rangers in defending Earth from the Armada's invasion. The very first episode of Megaforce literally starts with one of Troy's premonitions, a vision of a massive war involving countless Power Rangers, a foreshadowing that eventually becomes reality throughout the series. Among his special abilities, Troy's most unique power is his premonition, which allows him to glimpse future events. This gift helps him make strategic decisions during battles and anticipate enemy moves. He's also able to channel his inner aura energy to unleash extremely powerful punches, enhancing his physical strength and combat effectiveness. These abilities are essential to his leadership, courage, and determination as a ranger. In Episode 17 of Super Megaforce, Troy uses this inner aura energy to free Robo Knight from Vrak's control with a massive super punch. The whole scene feels straight out of Dragon Ball, very Super Saiyan-like. And what's even cooler, he does it without morphing. And just as a fun fact, though it doesn't exactly fit this video's list, in Power Rangers Super Megaforce, Troy gains access to the legendary Morpher, which allows him to transform into past Red Rangers. It greatly expands his powers and responsibilities. Not part of today's topic, but it's just too awesome not to mention.
Mick is one of those characters who just radiates charisma. An alien from the Lion Galaxy, he becomes the mentor of the Ninja Steel Rangers. After escaping slavery, Mick crash lands on Earth and ends up becoming the team's unlikely shop teacher, helping the Rangers with repairs, knowledge about the Ninja Nexus Prism, and above all, humor and heart. Mick's defining trait is his metamorphosis. He can change his body shape at will, even transforming into inanimate objects. In the very first episode, he turns into a mop. Then, in Episode 3, he disguises himself as a classroom skeleton, keeping his normal head while the rest of his body looks like bones. It's bizarre and hilarious at the same time. This ability isn't just for comedy or disguise. It's a tactical tool. Mick uses shape-shifting to infiltrate, escape danger, and even ambush enemies. His transformation power makes him much more than just the Ranger's quirky mechanic. It's also worth noting, Mick wasn't the main Red Ranger of the series full-time. In Episode 20 of Ninja Steel, the Red Ninja Star power was shattered into 3 pieces, which created 3 new power stars. One of them chose Mick as its user, allowing him to temporarily become a Red Ranger, an additional Ranger who joined the fight when the team needed him most. This distinction is important. Metamorphosis is Mick's true power. His Red Ranger form was more of a temporary, story-driven bonus near the end of the arc. Devon Daniels was born a regular kid in Coral Harbor, the mayor's son, a video game fan, and a karate practitioner, until the day fate chose him to become the Red Ranger of the Beast Morphers. He wasn't an official candidate. When the original contenders were corrupted by Evox, Devon and Zoe ended up linked to Morph X and the DNA keys, stepping up to protect both the city and the Morphin grid itself. This improvised origin explains much of his laid-back personality, which gradually evolves into a sense of responsibility over the course of the series. What defines Devon as a hero is the cheetah DNA imprinted on him when he morphs. Practically, this translates into super speed, movements far beyond human limits, spectacular reflexes, rapid combat maneuvers, and even acrobatics like running across surfaces with feline agility. I'd classify Devon's power as beastly super speed. It's not just enhanced human speed, it comes directly from cheetah DNA implanted via Morphex. This means he shares traits of a naturally fast animal, not through abstract magic, but through a biological modification within the series' universe.
The Red Ranger of Power Rangers Dino Fury hails from the planet Rafcon and was one of the first Dino Fury Rangers, chosen by the Morphin Masters around 65 million years ago to fight the Sporix beasts. His role is that of an ancestral leader, a warrior with a historical duty and a human heart by choice. What makes Zato special are two main powers: telepathy, along with psychic abilities tied to his Refconian heritage, and Morphin Master magic. Telepathy allows Zato to read minds through physical contact, view others' memories, project memories, and interpret information that wouldn't be otherwise accessible. Morphin Master magic manifests when he's revived or elevated to special forms, like the Zenith Ranger, or when directly channeling the Morphin Grid's magical power. In these states, he gains abilities far beyond the capabilities of a conventional Ranger form.
Amelia was the Pink Ranger in Power Rangers Dino Fury, but in the following season, she became the leader Red Ranger. From a young age, Amelia was deeply curious about the supernatural and the unknown, ghosts, strange legends, lost memories. She grew up not knowing her real parents, leaving her life full of gaps and unanswered questions. This mysterious background sets the stage for something greater when she discovers she is Rafconian, an alien race with special abilities. Certain telepathic powers begin to emerge clearly. Amelia's telepathy includes reading minds through physical contact, accessing others' memories, and projecting her own memories to them. There's also a visual manifestation. She develops retractable antennae as she embraces her true identity, a point where her telepathic physiology becomes fully functional.